Hello guys and welcome to today's Los Blancos podcast. Today we'll be discussing the Atleti game. A win, a really struggled, we've struggled in this game, but at the end of the day, still a win. And we managed to get out the Metropolitano alive with a 1-0 loss, but a win on penalties in a really tough game, in a really bad game for Real Madrid. They didn't play very well, but at the end of the day, they managed to get the job done against Atleti, even if it was by the tightest of margins, with that Julian Alvarez penalty in the end. Even if it was by the tightest of margins, we managed to get out. We advanced to the next round to play Arsenal. What are your initial thoughts on this win and advancement to the next round?
I was of course disappointed by certain aspects of the game, especially the fact that we conceded in the game. Of course, there was a lot of lackadaisical moments from some players in the games, so that's of course one of the lowlights. But of course, the highlight is another penalty win similar to last season. Hopefully, we've been seeing this all year, but hopefully it does our confidence and we can use it to build a platform to end the season well. And I know we said that a lot of times, but I hope that this gives us a little bit of extra motivation. Our players, like I said, some of them need to look a bit harder. In terms of the coaching aspect, I think we need to be a bit more tactically prepared for games like this. I don't think that the team were tactically prepared at all. Of course, we just need the intensity as well. So, there's some positives, a lot of negatives. But just like every football match, but I think in this one it was highlighted a bit more.
Yeah, you speak about the discipline. Let's start with that because Vinicius Junior had a really poor game, I thought. One in which, he just couldn't get into the game. He was really struggling. Marcos Llorente had him sorted out. And whenever there was a double coming up, they just couldn't get past. Vinny couldn't get past Vinny. And similar to how most games against Atleti go, I think Simeone has Vinicius. I think he's one manager that has Vinicius nailed down perfectly. I don't think Vinny has had a good game against Atleti in at least since he's exploded. Since his explosion into a world-class player. I don't think he's had a good game against Atleti, and it's probably the only club in the world that he hasn't had a good game that he's played against. So it's not been great from Vinicius, but the stuff that he did after the game. Listen, I love him. I think he's fantastic, but in a game in which you got saved by the rest of the team by the finest of margins, and it was your penalty that could have cost us the game. It was his antics that could have cost us the game in this game. So after all that, if he goes and does this to the Atleti fans, tries to rile them up, saying we got 15 Champions Leagues, you got 0. I don't think he deserves to do that. I think he needs to do better than to do that. If he goes and scores a hat trick after Atleti after the Atleti fans have been criticising, shouting at him, abusing him, then fair enough, I understand it. But I think after this game, after this type of game where he consistently just wasn't good enough, I don't think it's the right thing for him to do to go and taunt the Atleti fans. I understand that the abuse he's getting is not great, but I think he should do better, and I think he should learn to do better, because it's every single week. Often I get even against fan bases that don't really do anything against Vinny. He does tend to rile them up, and it does tend to get annoying. And he's in a bad patch of form recently, but I think that's no excuse. He needs to do better, and I think he knows that he needs to do better as well. But I hope there is some kind of management that steps in and just says, "Hey Vinny, you need to do better. You can't be taunting the Atleti fans after that performance where you just totally got locked up and you really were no threat. You missed a penalty which cost us an easier game at least. It was just overall not good enough from Vinicius Junior, and I think he was very lucky to stay on as long as he did. I think Rodrigo was very unlucky to be taken off because I thought he was the most dangerous out of the 3 attackers throughout the game. So the fact that Rodrigo got taken on so soon and Vinicius stayed on, I think Vinny was very lucky with that one. But yeah, what were your thoughts on Vinicius' reaction and performance?
The performance was not good. Just like you said, he was a bit lucky to stay on. what I was most upset about wasn't really the penalty. We know that Ancelotti made him the number one penalty taker. So I'm not upset about the penalty miss. After all, it's his first penalty miss for Madrid. In an official match, I must say, competitive match, I must say, because he did miss one against Barcelona and in pre-season in the United States. But I think the biggest issue for me was his lack of effort. I guess defensively, especially when he lost the ball. I think when you miss a penalty, you should at least show a bit more urgency just to do something, just to make up for it. But I didn't see that. I'm not even going to talk about the issues with the fans, etc. Because I won't say I don't have an issue with it. It's not just him alone. Of course, to celebrate in the front of the fans. But I think he should have worked a bit harder, especially with the fact that he wasn't playing well. Nothing was coming off him. I think I saw a stat. I'm not too sure if it's accurate because I didn't. Because I don't have all the information to confirm it, but I think it was the most field dribbles attempted in a Champions League knockout game, I believe, which was, if that's true, I don't doubt it because so many times he tried and it just never worked out. And so many times players were in better positions and it might just never worked out. So, of course, it's a bit disappointing that even though players in a better position and then it's not working out, then he should look to the players, his teammates a bit more. Sometimes when you're not having the best of games and you just have to simplify things a bit or link up more, to open up space for yourself. I don't think he managed the game well for himself in those situations. Everything was a bit predictable and I think he lost the ball so many times that our players had to track back and maybe stop dangerous counter-attack. So that's the disappointing part, in my opinion.
Yeah, I said this after the Real Betis game. It just seems like he's trying to do too much recently, and it doesn't. It's not a good look when he says he's going to do 10 times better, and it just looks like he wants to do it for himself. I understand that he wants to do it for the team. He loves Real Madrid. That's all fine, but at points it just looks like this guy wants to do the spectacular every single time, and we all know Vinicius can do that, but it's just not working for him recently. So why not try and link up with Mbappe a little bit more, who is on better form than him, and why not try and link up with Rodrigo and try and link up with Bellingham? It's not working for you as an individual recently, and we know that Vinny's play style is just keep going. Even if it fails 9 times, on the 10th time you will make it past Marcos Llorente. But try something new every once in a while and try and link up. I think it's just not working well for him recently, and I hope I know Vinicius can improve, and I've got trust in him to improve. But it's just it depends on how quickly it improves. It completely depends on that because to be totally honest, this team is built up on Vinicius's back. We can say these new players come in and they go, but this Real Madrid team is built on Vinicius Junior. And if Vinny doesn't play well, then we're not winning anything. It's as simple as that. Because as much as Mbappe can be fantastic, if Vinicius doesn't play well, then the team will fall apart and they will go down. So it is completely on Vinicius's back, this team, and their performance. If Vinny improves his performance, then we can win the Champions League. There is 100% chance that we can win the Champions League. But right now, Vinicius' form is not great, and it is costing us plenty of times. You could see it when it's just Mbappe and Rodrigo playing in La Liga, and you just see the team playing a lot better. Vinicius' form is not great, and you mentioned the work rate. Mbappe, I said this last week as well, I think, after the Real Betis game, and I said how after the ATLETICO game last week. So I said how Mbappe is actually running back a lot more than he used to, and he's actually working quite hard. Vinicius is the one who's letting us down, and I think you could see it once again today or yesterday on Wednesday, in which Mbappe was running back a lot. He made that slide tackle, which I really did not expect from him. I thought it was actually Jude Bellingham who made that slide tackle. I really did not expect Mbappe to go do that. But it clearly shows that Mbappe is showing a bit of fight, a bit of desire to get back. in which Vinicius isn't. You know, there was some times where Vinny would run back and track back and try and make a tackle, but it just wasn't enough, and he wasn't pressing enough. So I'm not happy with Vinicius Junior recently, with his effort, with his mentality, with his decision making. I'm not happy with, but I have trust in Vinicius. You know, he's come through difficult periods before, and I have trust in Vinicius to come back. You know, he's a Real Madrid legend for a reason, right? And at age 23, if you're a Real Madrid legend, I have complete faith in him to come and make it back. But right now, it's just not a good time for Vinicius. But you know, the good thing is, despite Vinicius' performance, we did make it through, and it gives Vinicius another chance to recover and play better next round against Arsenal. So, yeah, have you got any other comments on Vinicius?
No, just a simple comment is that I hope that he can return it because I think he's some of the fans starting to lose patience. And I'm not saying sell them, but there's games like this where I can see why fans are saying it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I can see why fans are saying that he should be sold, etc. And I hope that when Vinicius comes to the Bernabeu again, that he's that of course it's okay when the fans boo you. I hope that he doesn't have a game like this at the Bernabeu, especially when, because I mean we all know how that they can turn on him, especially because if we lose this season, then I think the fans are well within their right, you know, to make their feelings clear, similar to after the game against what game was it over the weekend when they put us off Valencano. They are well within their right, you know, to make their feelings clear after the game. But that's all I have to say about that. Let's hope that he can turn things around.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about some different things other than Vinicius in this game. I think in terms of the defense, I think it was a lot better. Obviously, that first lapse of judgment in the first 30 seconds is just unacceptable. But you know, after that, I think the defense recovered pretty well. Ferland Mendy wasn't great. He was pretty poor, I thought, in this game. That slip, I think, really summed up the game for him, where he just slipped and gave the ball away to Simeone. But you know, apart from that, I thought Asensio was really damn good. I thought, you know, every time someone goes one-on-one with Asensio, there's only one winner, which, you know, there's a lot of defenders that can't do that. So I think Asensio having that ability is very, very promising. I'm very excited about Raul Asensio and how well he is actually playing. I thought Antonio Rudiger was fine, apart from that first goal. I thought he could have done better on the first goal, tracking Colin Gallagher, but nonetheless, it's okay. We won in the end, and he was the one who scored the end penalty, which was unlucky. I think Oblak was very unlucky not to get to save that, but that's fine. And then I thought Fede was fantastic, and I thought Lucas Vazquez actually was pretty good when he came on, and actually showed a bit of intensity for us, although he missed the penalty. I thought, yeah, that the defense was actually pretty good in this game, and dealt with Atleti pretty well. And obviously Courtois made some big saves that I think you would expect Thibaut Courtois to make, but still, nonetheless, it's big saves for us to have. And yeah, I think it is very, very obvious that we are a lot better when we have Raul Asensio as centre back and we have Federico Valverde at right back. I think it shows. I think this game especially showed how Atleti's threat a lot of the time was kind of nullified once it got to our back four, because our back four was a lot more solid than it has been in recent months. So I think going forward, this is the team. I think this should be the back four. I'm a bit worried about Ferland Mendy, but I thought Fran Garcia was fantastic when he came on. Actually, provided us with so much, and you know, it would just open the game up so much when Fran Garcia came on, and gave Atleti something to think about. And left back, when Ferland Mendy has the ball, you can just back off and just get ready for him to release it. But I thought the defense was much better, much more solid. So yeah, I was very happy with that. So what are your thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, I've had on the first minute, I think it was fine. I really can't blame the defense for the chances and the shots that you conceded. Because it happens, shots happens, especially when the team is disjointed. But I think individually, the centre backs Valverde had a good game. You know, Mendy has been a bit hit and miss this season, but he's had good performances and he's had performances like on last night. Hopefully, Fan Garcia can step up on big nights, on important games. He has a lot of energy. So I think he's going to be a starter. I think the Kamavinga left back experiment is over for now. So I think Van Garcia has the opportunity to start, especially on big nights. Hopefully Saka is injured for the first leg or at least for the ties, so that he can at least have an easier night for him. But other than that, yeah, we need Kamavinga in midfield. So Garcia is needed at left back. The defense was back to the defense. The defense was really good. And of course, shout out to Asensio again for another top performance, another top Champions League night. I think we just really have to see how far you've come. If I have to look back from his debut, even though he got the assist, and if I have to think that he'd be playing this well against so many big teams like against City and Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, then I would say no. I wouldn't expect it. Yeah, he had a good game on the debut, but I didn't expect it to continue for so long, and that's actually impressive.
100%. I think, yeah, like you said, I just would not expect him to play this well, against big teams in the Champions League. But he's just been out of this world so far this season, and he has been the factor that's kind of changed Real Madrid's season, alongside Dani Ceballos until he got injured. I think, yeah, his emergence has been just so necessary for Real Madrid and their stability this season. Because imagine if we had played David Alaba in this game, he would have been absolutely cooked, and I don't think there's any reason to not believe that either. So I think, I'm very happy with his emergence. Talking about Camavinga, I mean, we just talked about Ceballos, and me and you were talking about how Ceballos' removal from the team, how it demands Camavinga to play a little bit better. This was the type of game we need from Camavinga, and we need it consistently. He obviously didn't start, but off the bench, really damn good performance, really solid, defensively really good, and keeping the ball in possession is the type of stuff we want Camavinga to do, and we need him to do a bit better. It just hasn't come from Camavinga in the last few months, but if he continues to play like this, it's what we need. I really love Camavinga when he's playing like this. He is one of the best midfielders in the world, needless to say. I think I really want Camavinga to keep going and keep playing better, because he has tremendous potential, and he has had tremendous potential in the however long. So I think he needs to play like this. We need him in the midfield, because it's very, very obvious that when Modric plays, as much as I love Modric, he should just be an impact substitution at this point in his career. He got overrun at Real Betis a couple of weeks ago, and he just didn't do so well in this game. I didn't think he could get a grip of the game in a tough atmosphere. I just think at age 40, it's a lot to ask of Luka Modric. So it is time for Eduardo Camavinga to step up, age 22 or 23, I'm not sure. It is time for him to step up and really grab that starting spot now, because as soon as Ceballos comes back, he's back into the team. And so if Camavinga doesn't make his impact now, then I really do struggle to see Camavinga getting back into the team once Ceballos comes back. So, what are your thoughts on Camavinga's performance and his improved performance?
Yeah, it's good for us. It's good for the season, especially with Sherman suspended. He's definitely going to start with Modric in midfield in the first leg, unless there's a drastic change on something happens. I think he's going to start with Modric. So I think Camavinga is really key to his team, especially post Toni Kroos. We waited for this performance for a long time, and I hope that he can continue with this form, because we're going into La Liga, we're going into an important phase of the season. I think we need everyone at their best. It's been a tough year, in my opinion, for him. He's had a lot of injuries. Ancelotti confirmed it as well. He's had a lot of injuries. Hopefully now he can take a step forward, even if he has to start on the bench when everyone is fit and come on and perform like this. I think we need that, because we don't have a player with his style. As a matter of fact, every one of our midfielders are completely different. So So that's it. We just need everyone fit, and even if he's not a starter, his performance off the bench, similar to the 21-22 season. I think it's important, especially to change a game. We needed him to do that in the past this season, and never happened. And thankfully, it happened on a big night. He didn't. We didn't score when he came on, but I think he showed things up well. I think he made things easier for us. And for that, we can just hope that he continues to build on that form and avoid injuries.
Yeah, and I think Shermany has been much improved, like he has been for the last couple of weeks. Really much improved performance from Shermany again. And yeah, hopefully he keeps it going, because when Shermany's not playing good, then we do tend to struggle. So yeah, it's good performance from Shermany as well. I thought Mbappe largely quiet, really quiet in this game, but made up for last week where he absolutely messed up that pass. He made up for it by drawing the Clermont Longley into a stupid challenge, and won us the penalty, which obviously Vinicius missed. But it's better from Mbappe. That's what you need Mbappe for when he's having a struggle, even he's struggling in this type of game, and he sees one bit of space and he gets one opportunity. He goes and takes it, and he is clinical in that way. That's what you want Mbappe to do. Is you want someone to be a bit more clinical in that sense, and be a bit more dangerous in that sense. So I think it's really good from Mbappe to keep it going and help us in that regard. So I'm very happy with Mbappe with that moment, but obviously still needs to improve. Still needs to get some more shots off. I think he needs to get some more shots off. And I thought Rodrigo was actually very dangerous. Our best attacker in this game, I think, and consistently our best attacker, I think, in these last few months. I'm really happy with Rodrigo and his performances, and long may it continue with Rodrigo, because I really do like Rodrigo as a footballer. And so yeah, he's getting a lot of praise right now, and I think it's deserved as well. So so I'm very happy with that. Let's talk about Arsenal next round. I think is a good point to talk about, because in terms of Arsenal next round, it's a very injured Arsenal team. It's a very weak Arsenal team in terms of they don't have their full. You mentioned Saka before, but they really do not have a lot of their players. And in terms of their attacking options, they are really struggling right now. There was a point in which I believe they played Kieran Tierney, Mikel Merino and Raheem Sterling up top, which is not the greatest front three, I don't think. So I think they're not going to have any advantage in terms of attacking us down the wings where it hurts. I think I'll be completely happy to have Kieran Tierney facing Lucas Vazquez, to be totally honest, even if that's the case. So I'm pretty happy with that. In terms of Arsenal aren't really in a position to totally destroy us right now. But I mean, I mentioned to you the set pieces. I think that's a position where Atleti had plenty of chances to score off set pieces. I think Arsenal would definitely be able to cause these issues. I'll do a little bit of analysis on the set pieces, and I'll see where Arsenal tend to swing in the crosses. But I believe it is far post corners that Arsenal tend to do, which I don't know. There's their one advantage to having Thibaut Courtois is the fact that he'll be able to claim those crosses. So I think that's one area where Arsenal can hurt us, but I think Thibaut Courtois should be able to help us with that. Otherwise, we should be able to attack Arsenal. They're going to play a deep block most likely. We should be able to beat Arsenal, and then beyond that point, we'll talk about PSG or whatever if we need to. But yeah, what are your thoughts on playing Arsenal? It's finally a new team that we haven't discussed over the last few years.
Yeah. We haven't played Arsenal since 2005, 2006 season. We haven't played them recently, so there isn't any sample size on how we do against them. But they have been strong defensively, and despite the league form, I believe that in the Champions League game they're going to be up front. So I don't think that we should underestimate them. I think it's a bit disappointing. I think it's a bit sad. That the fans are underestimating them. We can make jokes that Arsenal wanted to play us and they believe that they can beat us, and we can't blame them for thinking that because of our form this season. I don't think that we're good enough, in my opinion. I honestly don't think we're good enough to to win these games, in my opinion. But we win sometimes. But I really honestly think that Arsenal can pose a big threat to us because of their defensive structure and their intensity that they're going to come with in the Champions League. I think the fact that they're out of the title race, in my opinion, I think it's a bad thing for us, because they're going to want to win this game and they're going to want to at least put on a good showing in the Champions League to make up for the fact that they're not going to win the league. I think they know it as well. So they'll have to give us a really tough game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be similar to the ATLETICO match game until the fourth and it will be, and how tight it might be. But I think that we need our team to work together, especially. Of course, we know who we spoke about today, and I'm not going to constantly mention, but we just need to be with a bit more of a team, to win this game. Of course, sometimes, Arsenal have a deep block, they're strong in set pieces, like you said, so I think they can hit us, but also we can also hit them as well, especially if the game is open or if the game is nil. We just have to avoid them from scoring and creating chances, which can be easier because they are lacking players. So I think the more we keep them at bay, I think we're going to be the favourite to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about it when it comes closer because we've still got like a month until that game. But
of course, we have to wait to see who's available for us.
Yeah.
As well, because we never know.
Yeah, because knowing our luck, we'd probably a couple more players would probably drop by then. So yeah, I think it could be a situation in which Arsenal don't have many players, but it could also be a situation where Real Madrid don't have many players. So we'll see what happens. We need to get close to that game to see what the two sides actually look like going into that game. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that Real Madrid can beat Arsenal, but there is also a complete chance that Arsenal can beat us in current form. I think there's also one last thing I want to talk about in terms of the Atleti game. It's obviously the story that everyone wants to talk about, but I think it's a non-story. The Alvarez penalty, because I think if it happened to any other club in which that goal disallowed and it favoured any other club, I think it would be a complete non-story. Nobody would really care as much as they did anyway with this one, because it's very clearly, I think there's camera angles now in which you can clearly see that it hits both of his feet. Is it harsh? 100%. It's 100% harsh. It's unfortunate that you slip and then that costs you a goal, a shot in the penalty shootout. But it's just the rules. Like how are you going to complain that the rules were enforced? That's the bit which I don't understand. And a lot of people are dealing with theoreticals, saying that if it happened in Real Madrid, if it happened against Real Madrid, then they would not review it. But you can't deal with those theoreticals. So I think it's pretty stupid. Yeah, I think it's completely fair that Julian Alvarez got that goal disallowed, got that penalty disallowed. It's unfortunate for him, but at the end of the day, rules are the rules for a reason. And if we're not going to have a bit of objectivity about it, then that just leads to more issues, doesn't it? So yeah, I think that it's just complete non-story. It's very obviously hit both of his feet, and there's just nothing to talk about there. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the penalty?
Yeah, I share the same thoughts as you. It's the law. It's clear that not just a penalty, but a goal kick, a corner, free kick, the same player can't touch it twice. Even if in the game itself, if you hit a shot and hit the bar and then you score the rebound without any player touching it, and it's disallowed. It's been the laws for a while now. As slight as it is, it's just part of the regulations. It's just something that you have to live with, and regardless of how demoralizing it is for teams that that happens to them, it's just the regulation and the technology was used. The technology was used for it. So I'm seeing that they're saying that they will have a look to kind of amend the law a bit, but we'll see what happens when that time comes. But everything was done right for that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing to talk about there. I just don't understand why it's such a big controversy. But whatever. There's nothing there. There's nothing there for us to talk about. Apart from that, I mean, that's all I've got to say really. Have you got anything else to add on this game?
No. There's nothing else. I think Courtois as well, especially shout out to Courtois, and not just Courtois, but all the players who suffered injuries as of late and had to, let's say, force themselves to play, but playing at not 100%. I saw a report this morning that it's not just Rudiger, but also Bellingham, Valverde, and a few others, a couple of others, Bellingham, Valverde, and Mbappe,
Yeah.
all played with discomfort. And to do so on a Champions League night, I hope that over the international break they do get some rest. But they're all called up for their respective teams, so let's hope that nothing goes. But these guys, let's hope that they stay fit. Let's hope that they have their respective injuries, and I'm just thankful that we got through. We have to take it one game at a time, and hopefully we can win against Villarreal on the weekend. We all know after a big win in the Champions League or against Barcelona, whether we win, we always come back and we struggle against the next team, no matter who it is in La Liga. It can be Valenciano, it can be Valladolid, it can be Betis. Anyone we struggle against after a big win on these nights, and we're going to a tough stadium, a stadium where we have struggled to win in the past, and of course had some losses, had some wins. It's always a mixed bag in that stadium, so let's hope that we can go there and get the win.
Yeah, so it's a very difficult game. It's just not a game you want to be playing when a lot of your players are just not 100%, and you've just come off a 120-minute game against Atletico Madrid at the Metropolitano. It's just not a game you want to be playing at that moment in time, but hopefully they can win, because there is still a La Liga title race going on. You are still fighting with Barcelona on 3 fronts, and you are still fighting with Atleti on 2 fronts. So there is you've got to keep going, and there is the luxury of having an international break next week. So give it your all this week, and then just take it off next week. Just relax. At least the players who aren't going on international breaks. So that's it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.